There's starting to become a pattern amongst MCU actors. I'll use Robert Downey Jr. as an example. After Endgame, he was like, I'm never playing Iron Man again. I'm done. It was a definitive ending. Great ending for my character. Never coming back. And then, a couple years down the line, Robert Downey Jr. is like, hey, maybe I would. Maybe I do want to come back to the MCU. Maybe I do want to play Iron Man again. Maybe if, the right project came around. Boom, Avengers Doomsday is announced. He's coming back as Doctor Doom. Same goes for, like, Tom Holland. I remember after No Way Home, he was like, I've been playing Spider-Man for so long. I think maybe I want to explore other opportunities. And then, a couple years later, he's like, I'm coming back for Spider-Man 4. And then, even like just a month ago, I think, he was like on a podcast and he was like, I can play Spider-Man for many more films to come. Do you like my Tom Holland impression? Even to a certain extent, Hugh Jackman, he's like, I am never coming back to play Wolverine. I'm too old. I don't want to do the workout routine anymore. And then, a couple years later, he's like, you know what? I want to play Wolverine with my buddy Ryan Reynolds. I actually can't do an Australian accent. I feel like I just start doing like a Cockney British accent. In any case, just so many of these actors that are supposedly not coming back to play their characters, they just like end up reneging because Kevin Feige just goes beep, beep, beep. And then like Robert Downey Jr. is like, what is that noise? What is that noise? And then he like rushes to his window and he just sees beep, beep. Kevin Feige with like a dump truck full of money just lowering it onto his like fucking front yard. And he's like, all right, fine. I guess I'll come back to play Iron Man. And now we have another one of these situations, right? After Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Elizabeth Olsen, she was like, you know what? I think I'm done playing, Scarlet Witch. Playing Scarlet Witch all these years, it's kept me from making all these artsy, fartsy, indie movies, these like real movies, quote unquote, as Martin Scorsese would say, cinema. I think I'm done with Wanda. She's dead. She died in Multiverse of Madness. She's not around anymore. And now she's basically like, I mean, it's not even like Robert Downey Jr. and Hugh Jackman. Like, she's essentially confirmed that yes, she's coming back as Scarlet Witch. Let's get into this. So let's see. So we'll start reading here. More recently, Schaefer offered a little more insight into Wanda's possible future. Schaefer, if you don't know, is like the showrunner of Agatha all along. I think she also was like a writer on WandaVision. Whatever, indicating that the decision was made to explain in Agatha all along that Wanda was not dead, but simply gone. And that brings it right back to where Feige left things. Anything is possible, and Olsen just teased one such possibility. So, I guess this is interesting shit. The showrunner of Agatha all along is basically confirming that, no, we did not mean to say that Wanda was dead, just that she was gone. So, that's actually kind of an interesting clarification there. But it says here, in a recent appearance at a fan convention, Olsen was asked if there was one specific Marvel comic story she'd like to see adapted. Sorry, let me pull this back up. That she'd like to see adapted for her return to the MCU. And while she didn't refer to any particular story, she seemed to give away plenty. Well, honestly, if I were to tell you exactly what I would want, I think I would maybe be spoiling something, said Olsen. Kevin Feige genuinely asks us what we want to do with the character, and then he does it. So, sorry, it says laughs. So I don't know if I can share. I just want to come back. I mean, there it is. Elizabeth Olsen is officially coming back as Scarlet Witch. She's not even teasing it. She just straight up said it. Now, what I think the more interesting question is, well, where exactly are we going to see Wanda back? I mean, there are definitely a lot of possibilities. If we look at what was just recently teased, Agatha all along has Wanda's child in Billy. going off on an adventure to find Tommy at the end of Agatha All Along. Oh, I guess Agatha All Along spoilers if you haven't seen it. Um, um, but yeah, so I mean, obviously, it would make sense for Wanda to be involved in that if she's still around in the MCU. But the reality is that Elizabeth Olsen is a cinematic character at this point. I mean, obviously, she did WandaVision, but the thing is that Marvel Studios, they've come out and said that they're kind of wanting to have a degree of separation between the movies and the TV shows, right? After like the incredible, insane failure of the Marvels, and they had their whole like restructuring thing. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but now when you watch a Marvel Studios movie, the opening intro says Marvel Studios. When you watched X-Men 97, the opening intro said Marvel Animation. When you watched Agatha All Along, and I believe it actually started with Echo, they both have Marvel Television in their opening intros. So just because of all of that, I'm actually not sure if like whatever sequel show, Agatha All Along season 2, I'm actually not sure if Wanda or if Scarlet Witch would be a part of that, because I just don't know if Kevin Feige would want to have like Agatha All Along season 2 tie into Wanda being in the movies, unless they actually do want to just keep Scarlet Witch as a TV character. But then that gets into the other possibilities of where Wanda would show up. I mean, obviously, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Those are going to be two movies that are very multiverse centric. Wanda is a very key figure in the multiverse. I mean, she is a character that was able to travel between universes. That's like a kind of a big deal, I think. So I mean, I feel like Wanda kind of has to show up in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. If not for the fact that literally every character known to man is probably going to be in Avengers Secret Wars. But again, after the Marvels, after all the restructuring, after them saying that they kind of want to maintain Marvel Television and Marvel movies kind of separate from one another, do they want to confuse audiences by having Scarlet Witch be a major player in both, in Agatha All Along season 2, as well as, the Avengers movies? I don't know. I don't know. There's also been like a Scarlet Witch solo movie, which has been rumored for frigging like who knows how long. I mean, who knows like what the actual possibilities of that happening. They are rumors as of right now, but I mean that's also another viable option. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it did make almost $1 billion, and no offense, but I kind of don't feel like Doctor Strange was the reason for that. I think it was probably because of all the cameos that were rumored and stuff, but also riding off of the hype of WandaVision. I think people do genuinely love Scarlet Witch, so I do think a Scarlet Witch solo movie could be in the works and could be an interesting possibility. But yeah, I mean, as far as her popping up in any other projects, I mean, I don't really see her having a place in Captain America 4. I don't see her popping up in Thunderbolts. Maybe Fantastic Four, but also I kind of suspect that movie's going to feel like, but like we already know that's in another universe. And obviously, like I said, Scarlet Witch can travel through the multiverse, but I kind of suspect that movie is going to feel almost like a standalone movie until like the very end of the movie, where they, I don't know, fall through a stupid multiverse portal and end up in Earth 616. So I don't think she would pop up in Fantastic Four. What's after Fantastic Four? I'm trying to remember. I guess Spider-Man 4 is somewhere around there. Who the hell knows? Am I forgetting obvious movies that they've already announced? I don't know, but yeah, and then I've already talked about Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So, I mean, yeah, I think at the end of the day, there are three like distinct possibilities. I think the one that's least likely are that they just have her in Agatha All Along season 2, right, which was teased at the end of Agatha All Along. And they either sort of keep her as a TV character, like what she did in WandaVision, or I think that because she's a big enough character, they maybe don't involve her in those adventures. Although, again, it would feel weird if she wasn't and they continued on a search for Tommy. So I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that. Like, I was going to say the second possibility would be that she has her own solo movie and it somehow does tie into Agatha All Along season 2. Because I just feel like it would be weird if they kept on that story of Billy and Tommy reuniting and Scarlet Witch wasn't a part of it. I feel like that would be weird. But at the end of the day, they said what they said about keeping television and movies separate, but they could also renege on that. Who knows? So I think a Scarlet Witch solo movie is definitely a possibility. And I think the third, and I think almost certain possibility is that, yes, she shows up in Avengers Secret Wars and or Avengers Doomsday. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that any of those are going to happen? Do you think that some of those are going to happen? Do you think that all of those are going to happen? Because it is possible that she is in all three of those things. It's possible she gets her own solo movie, as well as appearing in Agatha All Along, and as well as appearing in the next two Avengers movies. So yeah, let me know what you want to see. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!